我要表现我的感谢，对我父母，我觉得他们是非常非常伟大的。我们到美国去的时候，他们吃了好多苦，我是老大，所以我还记得。这本书，第一，我觉得是可以有这个机会讲我们家庭的生活，怎么到美国去的困难呢？ I want people to read this book. 这是我父亲的故事。And then this third book, which just came out, talks about their philosophy and what propelled their motivation when they went to America, and what enabled them to sustain and triumph against all the difficulties that they had. So I hope your viewers will get this book, because without this book, there is no this book. I wanted them to feel appreciation for their culture. I think Asian culture has a lot to contribute to the Western world. And in an increasingly diverse world that we are in today, I think America, Europe, should understand more about Asian culture. Values such as filial piety, which is respect and love for one's parents, which is sorely needed, frankly, in the West. And then secondly, it's modesty and humility. Again, wonderful Asian values, I think, can be shared with the rest of the world. You know, I don't think that if you're asked to join the cabinet, unless it's a very unusual circumstance, that you would say no. It used to be that it was a matter of honor, that if the president asked you to join the cabinet, your only answer was yes. And by the time that you are offered a position as a cabinet officer, if you don't know what the answer is, then you're not really ready. So the preparation for this step took decades in the making. And there's actually a wonderful story about my father. When we first came to America, life was very difficult. But my father was full of enthusiasm and confidence about this country, America. And he said, you can't be president of the United States because you're not born in the United States, but you can be a secretary. And do you know what our reaction was to what he said? We started laughing uproariously. We thought it was such a joke, and it was so funny. But it came true. So my father has foresight, he has courage, he has guts, and he's a true visionary. And his courage in framing, a new vision gives a lot of other people inspiration, courage, determination.
因为按照美国的规定，总统一定要是当地出生的，他是台湾出生的，所以当总统的机会没有了。不过呢，以他的小的时候的聪明，小的时候努力的这个精灵，所以我就对他有一个期待。可是后来不是当到一任部长，当到3任部长，他是从小与众不同，这是我感觉到特别高兴的。
My father said, broaden your vista, broaden your horizon. Look at all the world around you. It's a wonderful world. Go out and look and observe and listen and learn. So those are very important life lessons. I'm obviously a tremendous fan of the way my parents raised their children. I think the most important thing is material wealth doesn't really mean that much. When we came to America, it was very difficult. We didn't have a lot of financial wealth at all, but we were wealthy in the most important things about life, which is wonderful parents, love and support in the family, hope for the future. My parents always were optimistic and were hopeful. And because of that, their children were hopeful and optimistic.
No complaints in your family?
Oh, we all complain all the time. But my father says, so when we argue amongst ourselves, 我父亲讲，如果你真吵架的话，你到外面去吵架，跟外面的人吵架，不要跟家人吵架。So I think that's very good advice. I do encourage young people, I encourage Asian Americans to get involved in all aspects of mainstream America. They should not be afraid to get involved outside of their circles and explore the world outside. Mainstream America is very open. Americans are very generous, and they're very open to helping others and to share information. I'm going to surprise you so much. I never had a role model except for my parents. I did okay. A role model can only take you as far as they have gone. And I would hope that people would go beyond these pioneers. So a person needs to have interest, motivation, and in America, that will give them the impetus with which to go forward. So if you don't have a role model, don't worry, it's okay. If you believe in something, if you want something, you're willing to work hard on it. In America, that it's possible. I think the most important thing is you have to find something that you're really interested in. Because if you're really interested in something, you will have self-motivation. So for example, when I went into the White House and the government, I was one of the very few females. I was the only Asian American. The only other Asian Americans at the White House were Filipino mess people. They're the ones who serve food in the White House dining rooms. That was it. But and there were many people who were mean to me. I had no connections, no background, no sponsor, but I was so interested in what was going on in our government that it didn't really matter if people were nasty to me. I don't care. Well, I think if there's animosity toward Asian Americans, better education of Asian culture, Asian history would hopefully enlighten more people and help them appreciate Asian culture and thus Asian Americans and Asians in America as well. I just recently found an internship for someone who was interested in coming into an internship in Washington, D.C. So when I was Secretary of Labor and Transportation, I set up internship opportunities, internship programs for young people. I couldn't say that it was for Asian Americans, but 1/3 to 1/2 of the interns were Asian Americans, and it was a great opportunity for them.